Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. So, motorcycles have wheels, wheels have tyres, and tyres have air in them. And you need to top that air up regularly to make sure your tyre pressures are what you want for whatever you're doing on your bike. That does change depending on what you're doing, but you want it to be at the right point. To do that, you have a few options. You either go down to the local petrol station or garage or whatever and either use free air if you find one of the 3 machines that's probably left in this country, or you pay £1 or 50p to pump your tyres up. Or at home, you might have an air compressor or a foot pump or something like that. Well, as you also know, there are millions of these electric pumps out there. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen many videos on these sorts of things. I'll tell you this, you probably haven't seen many that the person wasn't sent it and actually bought it with their own money. The reason I say that is I've been offered literally hundreds of electric air compressors for motorcycles from different Chinese companies, and I've always said no because I just didn't want to get involved with whether they're actually going to be any good, etc, etc. So why have I bought this one? Well, I am lucky enough to have space for and have an air compressor. You know, a big air compressor, digital readout and everything. You know, I've got this. This is the ultimate, as it were. But to just pump your tyres up 5 psi, it's a bit annoying having to charge up the cylinder and that sort of stuff. Yes, you can leave them full, but mine leaks a little bit if you leave tools in it, and I always do. So yeah, it goes down over time. To have something small and mobile that you can just click onto it and quickly do before you go is really convenient. And that's why I've bought this one. So what I did is I've gone to Amazon, I've looked around for a reasonably priced one. This was £25. It has very good reviews. And I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm going to demonstrate it. I'm going to test it because I've bought this and I want to know if it's going to do what I want. I'm going to fully deflate this tyre and inflate it using this. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this, which is what everyone else does in videos because it seems to be what people want to see, but it's actually kind of irrelevant because you don't normally pump your tyres up from flat. Because for me, you know, most of the time I'm pumping my tyres up a few psi. I'm not completely redoing it. So it doesn't matter if this is a bit slower than, you know, an air compressor, as long as it gets it done in a reasonable amount of time, maybe while the bike's warming up. Before we have a look at the machine, I need to point out that there is a link to this in the description, which goes to my Amazon store. And if you were to buy one of these through that link, I would earn a kickback. I have to tell you that legally. It's another thing a lot of people don't do. Be aware of that. Let's get into it. So in the box, this is the Feaby electric air pump. Plus and minus air pressure key, short press for. The English in here is actually good. That's a really good sign. Comes with a, I guess this is a travel bag, but this is just the most ubiquitous felt bag I think I've ever seen. The unit itself is this. So just do the peel. Oh, that's going to get scratched to bits. There you go, digital display. By the way, no, they don't come charged. I've pre-charged them. But I haven't looked in this box yet. I literally just took that out of the box, as far as you've seen, and didn't bother delving in here. So there's our hose. So, it comes with a fat nozzle, a thin nozzle, some sort of adapter. Honestly, couldn't tell you. Might be a... Is that a press? Hang on, pressed a Schrader. I can't remember which way around's what. And a needle for like footballs and things like that. Basketballs. USB-C for charging. This attach here. Pretty self-explanatory. We can select our PSIs here. It's got a light. Right. Do not use this to prank your friends because it happens to do blue and red flashing lights like the police. That's SOS. Okay, so it's got a light. And you can use the light at the same time you're doing tyres. So that's quite handy. Okay, interestingly, I thought this was a preset button, but it's not. It's what's changing the units of measurement. So we got bar, kilograms per centimetre squared, PSI. Okay, well I want to work in PSI, and I know these tyres, I'm going to pump them to 30. Okay. Ordinarily, I don't do reviews on a product until I've used it for a month or so, but the problem is, I doubt it's going to break in a month. If it's going to break, it's probably going to be in a year, if it doesn't break immediately. So if we can pump the tyre up with it and it doesn't break, I think it's probably going to last a while. But I don't want to wait, 2 years to the point this product's no longer valid or available before I make the video. So my solution to this is, if anything goes wrong with this product in the future, I'm just going to put a pinned comment and explain what happened. And I've realised that's actually something that everyone who does product reviews should be doing. If you do a product review, if that product ever goes wrong, you should put in a pinned comment what went wrong. And then you can see between the date the video went up and the date that the person said it went wrong, you can see how long it lasted. Maybe that's acceptable. It all depends. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's let this tyre down to 0 and see how quickly the air compressor can get it back up to 30. As in my compressor, and then we'll see what the electric one can do. So this is one of the nice things about these handles, is they have let-down buttons on them. So if you go too high, you can correct it like that. But I always go higher to start with anyway, because you know what you end up doing is overshooting and then undoing the thing, it drops down a bit. Okay, so use my full-size shop air compressor and line. See how quickly we can get this to 30 psi, which is what I run this at normally. Start. There we go, 17.5 seconds. First thing to point out, it would have been really nice if this swiveled, but it doesn't. And the way it's timed, you basically have to have it upside down. Unless we do... No, because that undoes it. Yeah, that's... Immediately, that's annoying, but we can work around it. Nice firm connection on there. Let's turn it on. Reset this. Turn it on. Select the PSI we want, which is... Oh, I've gone too far. It was on the right one. It does have a memory. 30. So as soon as it starts, I'll press this. Three minutes 18. I actually don't think that's too bad. Just remember, this is a small electric motor with a very small pump in there, and it's managed to get this tyre up to 30 psi quite quick, and that proves a point. I know it's leaking down a bit. I've bought this as a machine to use at home, not travelling or anything like that, so it doesn't matter about battery life and things like that. This is just to top up my tyres before I go on a ride quickly, because I can just put it on, press the button, there we go. So let it drop down a bit more. So say you ran your tyres at 30 and you haven't pumped them up for a while and you see they're 27.5. How long would it take to get them up to 30? Keeping in mind, if I was to do this with my air compressor, I have to wait 5 minutes for the compressor to fill with air. That's it. That's really good. That's what I wanted this for. Right, okay, so my advice, I think, is probably go over by 1.5. Get the spider that's hanging off your face, Look at him. Here's Butterdot. The observant amongst you have probably already noticed that this pump seems to go up to 30, then drop down to 28.5. So I'm thinking that you probably want to put, like, an extra 1.5 psi on top of what you want anyway. Maybe slightly more for a reason I'm about to point out. But I think it seems like it stops before it's actually at that pressure. Like the internal pressure is at that point, but when it cuts off, it loses it a little bit. I don't know, but something to point out. Right. See, there's always that little bit of loss. Ow! Let's see what my gauge says this is at. About 28, and I agree it probably is at this point. That's the way to take it off. Don't worry, I know some of you run your tyres a lot higher than 30 psi. These are up around 40, so I'm going to do this one to 40 and see if this struggles as it gets up in the range. Now, as I say, they claim it will do 150 psi, but I don't care about that. I care about it doing realistic, real-world stuff. Oh my gosh. Well, 33. No issues with that. Didn't seem any slower. This has got a hole for a 12-volt adapter. There's a cigarette lighter adapter, but it's not included. You charge it with the USB-C, and I believe this USB is that it allows you to charge your phone and stuff. Let me see, does it give the specs? Somewhere, where's the specs? Okay, I've looked on Amazon, it says it has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. We've pumped this tyre up, it hasn't taken 1 bar out. Again, I'm not testing this from the perspective of travelling with it and how many times can I charge something off of this. Yeah, you can charge your phone with it. So if this is a travel thing, knowing that your tyre inflator can, in emergency, charge your phone and get it going, that's not a bad thing. And because it charges by USB-C, it means your charging cable for your phone is also your charging cable for this unit. So overall, I'm very pleased with this. I think for 25 quid, that is a damn good deal. It's a useful device. It seems well enough made. And it does, it seems, the job that I'd want it to do, which is speed up just topping my tyres up before I go on a ride. And this is the thing. If it's easy to do, you're more likely to do it. If it's going to take you 10 minutes and you're in a bit of a rush, you're not going to do it, and that's not a good thing to do. So it's beneficial if you've got something, even if it's cheap, to quickly get them to the right PSI. As I mentioned before, should anything go wrong with this between now and the future of this video still being up, I will put a pinned comment if something happens. If something breaks or just anything, if anything goes wrong, it will be in a pinned comment. So yes, as I say, I'm very happy with that. If you're interested in getting one of these, as I say, links in the description. There are many other brands out there. You can buy one of theirs. As I said, I'm not sponsored in this video or anything. I bought this with my own money. You can buy whoever's or don't buy anything. I am just speaking for this one. I've got a couple more motorcycle related Amazon products coming up, so if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you've got any suggestions of products that you've seen on there that you'd like someone to, buy and review, send me a link. I may or I may not, it depends on how expensive it is and if it's worth it for the video, but if you join Patreon, I'm going to have more cash around to be able to do things like that. So until the next one, bye bye.